Hello and welcome to 001 Radio Weekly. This week, we're doing a special dive into the PS5 showcase reveal. And I'm also joined by my wonderful co-host. I'm Ryan. I'm joined by my wonderful co-hosts, Ben, Wyatt, and Alex. This is where you all say hello.
Hi.
I don't wanna.
All right, so we have a tight show today because we're going to talk about every single thing that was showed at the PS5 reveal, which means there's like a lot of stuff here. There's, I think, 27 things, and we don't have a time limit, but we prefer to keep it around an hour. So we're going to blast through some of this stuff. But first, we have our obligatory news game, all right? And this time, we're doing something fun. It's not actually, news game is a little bit of a misnomer for this because it's not really a news game. But it's on brand because we're talking about game console reveals. And you know what game console reveals usually have? So, any guesses?
News.
Codenames.
Oh.
We got codenames. Ben, you're also far away from your microphone again. Consistent
News.
distance. There you go.
How dare you?
So the way this game works, I'm going to tell you a codename, and then I want you to guess what console that codename equates to. So for example, if I said Scorpio, you'd tell me the Xbox One X, right?
Right.
If you know that. Yeah, and some of these are going to get a little weird. So we're going to kick it off with something a little bit... Some of you might know this, some of you might not. How about Dolphin? Anyone know here
I know.
what Dolphin is?
It's an emulator called Dolphin.
There is an emulator called Dolphin.
It was the code name for the GameCube.
It was the codename for the GameCube.
Damn it.
Wow.
I was close.
It was also called the N200 or N2000 from my stat list here, but that may not be correct, or it may have been a Japan only thing. All right, moving on. GameCube is a great console. How about a Colleen?
Oh,
I can guarantee no one here is going to know this. What, Alex?
No, it's a Nintendo console.
Nope. It is the Atari 800.
Wow.
Right. Okay.
Wait, what? Okay.
Them people were whack back in the day.
I know nothing about console nicknames, so this is going to be interesting.
All right.
I mean,
are you ready for a weird one? We got one that's pretty good here. What's the Revolution?
So Wii.
That is a Wii. Wyatt is on point with that one. The Wii U is called the Revolution. How about Project Cafe?
I'm not getting any coffee vibes from any
Any coffee vibes
from any
from your
consoles.
This is another.
So
This is the Wii U.
Jesus.
All right, now we got another good one.
Whatever.
Okay.
This is a bone I'm throwing to you all. PSX.
PlayStation 10.
What is it actually? What's your guess?
I mean, I'm gonna say like the original PlayStation. Maybe?
Yeah, it's a PlayStation 1.
Oh, okay.
Pretty easy. It's not a hard thing. It's the PSX, PlayStation 1. Pretty easy.
Okay. Cool.
All right. This is probably going to be our last one, but it's a banger. This is a banger one.
All right,
Ooh,
cool.
okay.
Starts
I'm
off
excited.
Mars, but it was also called the Verve, the TAC, the TSO, the CPG. The Mars, I'm not going to tell you what Mars stands for because it actually gives it away. The Verve was Virtual Entertainment and Reality Venture.
I hate this game.
Virtual Boy?
Good guess. This is one that I think most people here know about.
I don't know. PC2.
This is the Xbox.
Huh.
The Xbox was called Mars.
Can I derail this for a second to say that there's a deer outside of my window right now?
Beautiful. No, you
We're
can't.
on task. We're on task.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So the only other one I want to mention that's really weird is the Dreamcast had not one but 6 code names. It was the white belt, the katana, the guppy, the black belt, the shark, and the durl.
Why the white belt and the black belt? What?
I don't know, but we thought it was necessary to cover that. That's our game for today. This is the fun thing to get us themed into our topic today, which is the PS5 reveal showcase event. Now, we promised to go through everything, which means, of course, we have to go through the first thing they showed, which for some unknowable reason was Grand Theft Auto 5.
So, I don't care about this game at all. There we go. Next one.
Nobody cares about Grand Theft Auto 5. It was a terrible note to start the show on. I don't know why they did it. Yeah, you
It's
should never, if you're
old.
doing a reveal for a new console, you should never have your first game that you show off be a game that was free about a week ago
One
on
thing I do,
PC.
however, that being said, I think the idea is that if you buy a PS5 on launch, you get it for free.
They say you get GTA Online for free, but at the same time, like the game was already free.
Yeah.
It's not a big announcement. It's not exciting.
Well, at least they're not making you pay for it.
And it also had a
So-
PS4 logo on the top left the entire time. So
I
think-
did notice that.
Forgot
that's
about that.
like the not super forgivable, but that's okay because they then interesting choice. They didn't show us the console for pretty much the entire show until the very end, which we'll talk about it at the end. But it was an interesting choice, I think, to not show something at the start.
I think we know why they did that.
Yeah, we'll talk about
We'll
that.
get to it. We'll get to it.
So our second game, GTA 5 doesn't matter. We all know, but we probably all played GTA 5 at this point.
I
Spider-Man,
actually haven't.
Miles Morales.
Well, looks fun.
Oh
Looks like,
yeah.
like Spider-Man, but he's actually the guy from Infamous at the same time, so it's gonna be fun.
Uh-huh. So it
Right,
looks like it's a
right.
Spider-Man game.
Which is not a bad thing at all.
No,
Certainly not a bad
absolutely
thing.
not.
The
The-
first Spider-Man's fantastic.
So the question that I have is that we know pretty much at this point that this isn't a sequel. It's more of like what
Yeah.
Well,
What's it
so
called?
the important note, there was some major confusion around the event because like this game's coming out so recently to Spider-Man that people were like, is it an expansion? Is it a remastered version of the first game with like a new content drop or something? It is a standalone game. It's confirmed it's been a standalone game. We don't know if that means it's probably not a sequel because there's unresolved storylines from Spider-Man. We're not going to spoil the game, but there are unresolved stuff. It's a standalone game though.
right.
Yeah.
From what I understand, it's kind of like what Lost Legacy was to Uncharted 4. And what I'm wondering then is there going to be a PS4 version if it's more of like a standalone expansion than like a full-on sequel?
Yeah, and
That's
we
my
didn't get a release date. We got a release season, so they say holiday 2020, which will likely mean late November or December. So
That's pretty much like launch of the PS5, right?
yeah, that's supposedly the launch of the PS5. Although we also didn't really get that confirmed. They said it was coming this year, but we don't know what that means. And I think there's also the chance it gets delayed, considering everything going on right now. But
Right.
yes. And Miles Morales, I think this game's really cool because Morales has a different power set than Peter Parker. He's got the shocker arms and the invisibility.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited to see where this goes, but we
More
don't really know
Spider-Man.
anything else about it.
More Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
It's more Spider-Man, and
Ah.
Spider-Man is a great game. So
Right.
then we get Gran Turismo 7.
Hey,
It's
so
a
did you
racing
like your
game?
cars looking
I
good?
can't really comment on this because
Yeah.
I'm not that involved with racing games. That much.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not a racing game person, so I really don't have much to say on
My
the
guess
matter.
is I'm probably the one here that's most into racing games, although I'm more of a like Forza Horizons boy. I think it's a
Mhm.
much
Like
more
this.
fun
On them then.
setup. I'm not really a sim fan, but yeah, what they showed looked really good. They also showed a lot of gameplay. Like we got a very distinct portion of like an entire race.
We
So the game's looking like it's definitely going to release on time. It looks good. But yeah,
I
it
mean,
looks like
it's
a racing
like-
game.
It's kind of what you'd
Yeah.
expect out of a next-gen racing game. It's the same game before, but now it's better because they have more
stuff.
cores to do
More-
physics
And
and
racing
light
games
rays
always
and
Polygons, we got more of them.
yeah,
these
a lot
like
of
AAA
triangles and yeah.
these AAA racing games always look incredible, so they're always
Yeah.
good tech demos as well.
Yeah.
They make
Right.
for good
At the
tech
same time,
demos.
like I looked at that, I don't really see anything that says it's super far apart from like Forza Horizons 4. Aside from like the mirrors looked really good,
Yeah.
which is probably a really good technology advantage with the new systems, as they can actually do like the double rendering required for that. And then after that we got a really cool game, I think, at least in my opinion, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
That looked awesome. That looked really
Yeah,
cool.
I haven't played the new Ratchet and
I
Clank yet.
mean-
It's on my list.
It's the only
Ratchet
one
and
that I've
Clank,
played,
bro.
like the remake or whatever it is. It's the
Yeah.
only one I've played, and I really liked it.
Ratchet and Clank's a classic.
I have only
Yeah.
seen the movie and I haven't played any of the games.
Oh, I'm sorry. The movie kind of sucked.
I forgot there was a movie.
Yeah.
I
well, the
never
thing
knew,
is,
and
the-
my day's
here-
been ruined.
Here's the crazy thing: is that the movie is literally just the cutscenes from the game with a few extra scenes,
That's
I
bonkers.
saw that
and
afterwards.
it was terrible. It was really
That's
it was
wild.
not good. Yeah.
Yeah, what they showed looked really good because we got actual gameplay. and a lot of it too, and like some different stuff. They're showing off the PS5 SSD with all that like time warping they're doing, dimension hopping.
It was seamless. It
Yeah,
was
very
like
seamless. I mean, you can tell it was definitely loading for at least like a second or two, but you would not be able to do that on current hardware.
Yeah.
And it's very clear they're taking full advantage of what the PS5 is going to be offering on launch, which is pretty
Other
cool.
than that, other than that, looks like pretty standard Ratchet and Clank, which is like
They had
fine.
some cool looking weapons though, like
Yeah.
a weapon that turns your enemies into plants. I can get behind
Oh
that.
my god! Every Ratchet and Clank game has crazy weapons. Like the one that I played, the PS4 version. There's literally a gun that just turns your enemies into pixels. It's great.
Yeah, it's
There's like
fantastic.
tons of crazy.
There's a
weird
sheep gun in one of the old ones too. Like
Oh,
they've
yep.
always
Yep.
got.
I do
fun
remember
guns.
the sheep gun.
guns. The sheep gun. All right.
All right. So after Ratchet and Clank, we got something. Apparently, this game wasn't actually. This isn't the first time we've heard of this game, Project Athia. We had heard about it before in some manner. I don't actually know what manner, but people knew about this. There was like a weird witch-based game that Square Enix is working on called Project Athia. As of now, it's definitely going to end up changing because it's a project title.
Mhm.
It looked cool. We didn't see more than like 5 seconds of it, aside from the cutscene. So
Not
Yeah.
much to say, but I'm interested to see more.
interested
That's
when
the
it
way-
comes out in 2030 because this is Square Enix
Right.
we're talking about.
Right,
Squeenix,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it still has a project title. So
Right.
good
Yeah,
luck.
it doesn't look like it's as far along as like Octopath was when they revealed it. So
It seemed like they wanted to put it here because it was a good tech demo, and that's kind of
yeah,
about it.
absolutely good tech demo and a way to confirm that Square is like working on next gen stuff
I mean, of course, we
in the
knew
absence of
that.
like a Final Fantasy 16 or something like that. Yeah, so not a whole lot to say about that. It looks pretty cool, but we don't really know what it is yet, except for that it's about like a werewolf and witches and it's got some like flying stuff apparently.
I could do with some dark fantasy.
Yeah,
I
you know,
could
I'm
do with
down.
that.
Sure.
Then I think this might be my like game of the show, Stray, which is a weird game about a city of a bunch of robots that are replacing humanity essentially, and you play as a cat.
You know what it kind of reminded me of? When I first was looking at it and I saw the robots, I was like, this reminds me of like a what's it called? Love, War and Robots, that Netflix show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love,
it
Death,
was
and
like this-
Robots.
this-
Holy
yeah, that's what I meant.
America. I love that show though.
That-
That's,
it
there's a
kinda
new
felt
season
like-
coming out. I'm
It kind of
excited.
felt like
That
the
was a very good
beginning of an
anthology
episode.
series.
Yeah, so this game it's being published by Annapurna, which is a pretty popular publisher for some like indie style games. It looked really good. This game's actually it's been in development for a while. I looked into it a little bit after the show because it's really stood out. It's been in development for a while. Yeah, so I'm hoping we actually do get this on time in 2021 because it looked really fun.
Mhm.
We didn't see any gameplay though, which is a little worrying.
But it looked really fun.
It looked really cool. I can't really say it looked fun because I didn't get to play it, but
The idea is the world looks interesting.
all right. Moving
It's not game
on,
of-
we
it's
have
not game
maybe
of
the
the show.
worst named game of the show, Returnal.
And I don't hate the name, to be honest with you. It doesn't bother me that much. I don't know.
It really bothers me for some reason. I don't know why.
Well,
Every
because it's
time I
just
see the
not real
name,
words. But it
First
seems like
landing
an
on
interesting concept.
Oh, that was the
It's the one where it's like, oh, it keeps happening every time. The crash, the death, the.
yeah,
it-
it's like an alien crash landing game.
It very
It-
much feels like that, like any time loop focused game sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oddly,
there-
what was weird-
there were
and
guns. We did see
They showed
guns.
us like combat for a split second, and it looked a lot like Mass Effect Andromeda's combat.
Yeah, it also looked
combat
kind of
should
camera,
not
the
be
camera, the camera looked the same. The armor looked like something that would be in Andromeda. I don't know. It looked a lot like that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if
Time
it's gonna be
travel
like a weird,
Andromeda.
weird like control style mix of like horror and shooter.
I'll say this right now. I don't feel like the combat fit the aesthetic of the game.
I completely agree. It looked weird, but maybe it might be the trailer is just not getting the aesthetic right in the rest of it.
Yeah.
We need to see more.
Yeah,
I think.
we need to see more. We need to see people play it. It looks really good though. Like the game itself looks good. The graphics were great. What they showed off was cool. It had some good
Mhm.
like atmosphere, at least in the cutscenes. It was just like the combat kind of looked out of place.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, moving on. We got a Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
Little Big Planet, baby!
Maybe.
I fucking love Little Big Planet.
Wasn't this originally exclusively Xbox?
No, Little Big Planet's
No,
always
no,
been a
no.
PlayStation thing.
Really? Sackboy was, huh?
Little Big Planet, yeah, it's always been a PlayStation thing.
Yeah, Little Big Planet 1 and 2 were pretty big sellers for
Mhm.
PS3, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I was so confused about that.
The note here is that Little Big Planet was mostly handled by Media Molecule, if I'm right.
Yep.
And
this
Media
isn't-
Molecule is now working on Dreams, and Sackboy Big Adventure is being done by Sumo Digital.
Oh
Mhm.
no! I
So,
like Media Mode.
It's also 3D and an action platformer, and not necessarily the 2D platformer that the other games were. So
I think that's a good direction for this.
yeah,
series
it's
to
a
go
cool
in.
direction, but
Big question
yeah,
is
Wyatt's about to
that
say
is
it.
yeah. Is there? They didn't talk about at all if there's going to be any of the building or the
Yeah.
like level design
The
stuff that there
creation
was in the
stuff.
last game.
Yeah, and that
They
was
didn't
like
show
a
that at all.
huge draw of Little Big Planet. Especially now that Media Molecule is making something like Dreams, which I assume will come to PS5. It's going to have a lot of competition especially if it doesn't, because then it's just going to kind of be another platformer in a sea of platformers when
Right.
like Nintendo is on top of their platformer game. So
Right.
we'll see.
That was kind of the thing with Little Big Planet that made it more interesting than it also had a really cool art style and like
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know,
very
Media
unique.
Molecule had some unique stuff to it, but the creation aspect of it was definitely the
All right, next we
draw.
saw. Moving on. Next we saw Monday Night Combat. And by Monday Night Combat, I mean Destruction All Stars.
We thought Ryan and I for a split second, because we were watching it, we were watching the live stream together with a couple of other friends. We honestly thought it was like a Rocket League 2 trailer for like a split second.
Yeah,
We were
for a split second, but it was more of a joke.
Yeah.
I was more on board with it being Monday Night Combat
Oh, that would
until
have
I
made me
saw the
so
cars.
happy. That
Yeah,
would've made me
it's
so
a
happy.
a sports car game, basically Twisted Metal, but not as dark and more like teen friendly. Looked kind of like it had some like Fortnite inspirations for the art style and everything, and the color
Mhm.
palette. Looks fun.
It looks yeah. There was some actually I was really interested. It looked like people were running around on foot as well. So like I wonder
Yeah.
if your car gets destroyed, you still have a chance to run around and like maybe get
There
your
was a
car
guy
back
running
or
around, and
something.
then he like jumped off a wall and then planted an
Yeah,
explosive on
exactly.
the other
So like
car.
you're
And I'm
still in
like,
the game
that's cool.
afterwards. I thought that was kind of cool.
Maybe you can like steal someone's car or something. That's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks fun. It's definitely, I think that'll be like a big streamer game. It's
For
got a
sure,
lot of
for a
that
while,
streamer
anyway.
energy.
Yeah.
Only if it comes out on PC.
I don't know.
I've heard a lot of these games are coming to PC. I've heard a lot of these games are coming to PC. Actually.
Yeah, they didn't really say anything about other platforms in the reveal event, but a lot of these have been like rumored to be coming to PC. I don't know if we've heard anything about Xbox ports of some of this stuff, but yeah, Destruction All Stars looks cool, but there's not a ton to say about it until we really know what the game is like, because we don't know the game mode or anything. We just know there's cars. You beat them up in cars. You know, you slab them, stash them, you can slash them. You know, you break the cars. It's a car game.
Well done, Ryan. Well done.
It's a car game, okay? Give me some slack here. Moving on, we got Kana Bridge of Spirits, which
This was
looks...
probably my game of the show.
This is my
It's a
unironic
cartoon
show of the game.
Really?
Show of
This-
the game.
Game of the show. Game of the show. Not
Why,
show.
This
why,
was-
why is that? Why is
This
that?
was awesome.
It looks so good. Like, the art style is incredible.
They showed a
It
little bit of combat
looks
there
like
at
you're
the end, right?
playing a Pixar movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like that. But other than how amazingly beautiful it is, I don't feel like there's substance to it.
It gave me major Ori vibes. And, like, anything that's giving me Ori vibes is good in my books.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I
It's
think
also Ember Lab. So if people that don't know Ember Lab, they're the ones that created the really crazy Majora's Mask 3D trailer that was done a few years ago. That's these guys. So now they're doing
wait
game
a
development
minute.
now.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I think I've seen that. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, it's the crazy Majora's Mask trailer. Yeah, they're really cool, and the game looks super interesting, and it also has like some Pikmin inspirations with the little spirits wandering around.
It gave me really mad Kubo vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my biggest concern is that it might be less of a game than it looks like right now, because this is a studio that is not always just doing games. It also seems super story heavy, so I don't know how much game is going to be in this game.
Oh no,
Yeah, no.
story heavy.
It could
How
be,
dare they?
it could be like just a few hours long. We don't know.
Definitely feels like a narrative heavy game. I
Yeah,
think.
we didn't really
So,
see any
uh,
kind of
fine.
progression.
So I'm all for it.
Right.
It does look cool though.
And if you like narrative, you'll love the next game.
Yeah. Goodbye Volcano High, which we didn't see a whole lot
Which-
about. It's a dinosaur high schooler game.
Well, I think it's just a television show.
It's
I
it's
really
set
thought it
in
was
the
a
end of an
TV
era.
commercial.
Yeah,
It, uh,
it's we didn't really see anything about this.
I think the tone of the story there is going to be a slightly more interactive Life is Strange type
Yeah,
vibe.
it almost looks like it's gonna be set in basically the dinosaur apocalypse,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is sounds like it could get really dark.
Honestly, because of
I mean,
the creature design, it kind of reminded me of BoJack in some ways. Like when BoJack in its more like sentimental
I can see
moments
that.
of the show, kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
The other thing to note, this game got a lot of backlash, which I think is wholly unnecessary.
Wait, for what?
Because it was a 2D game showing off in a showcase of really cool 3D, like heavy graphics oriented projects, and this game was not that. It's like a very personal, hand drawn looking animation style.
Right,
I thought it was 3D with a 2D filter.
So I did for a minute too. It might be, but
It looks, I don't know.
yeah, it
No,
definitely
it's
is
good
not
to
on the
have-
same visual level as some of the other stuff here.
It's good to have like a variety of titles that you're showing off.
Yeah, I think it just stands out more because there weren't a lot of indies shown here, or like low budget indies, I should say. There were a bunch of indies, but not really low budget stuff. It looks cool. We don't know anything about it aside
It could
from
be 3D.
like
I don't know.
the trailer. So yeah, that's about it. Moving on, Oddworld Soulstorm, which we've seen before. This was not the reveal of Oddworld Soulstorm,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like the newest thing. It was the first time I think we've seen gameplay. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's the first gameplay we've seen.
I'm really excited for this because I played the first Oddworld.
It looks
I've
like
never-
an Oddworld game.
Really gotten into Oddworld at all.
Yeah, I've never played it. I think I've played Stranger's Wrath once a long time ago.
I've played a bit of Stranger's Wrath, which is
It
not
was a while
typical-
Yeah, which
ago.
is very very different
yeah.
and not the same characters. So I'm curious now. I might go back and play some of the older games because I
I
think
definitely
they've been
played
free
a
for
bit of
PS4 before.
Abe's Odyssey on. What was that originally on? PS2 or one?
PS1.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
they're
I
old.
played some on PS1 for sure.
But
But
they
that was
do
back-
have new and tasty, which is like a remake of the first
Uh-huh.
game, and improves a lot in my opinion.
That's okay. So it was new and tasty. It wasn't the original.
I do
original.
remember New and Tasty. I don't think I ever played it, but I remember hearing about it. Yeah, it
Mhm.
looked wild.
Looks like
This
an
this
Oddworld
looked
game.
really dark.
Yeah.
They're all super dark.
But
Oddworld
yeah,
is-
this was
Well,
like
I-
almost brutal.
I like the sort of puzzle 2D handling that they give the 3D environments.
Yeah, like a
And
nice,
this-
a really nice like 2.5D puzzle aesthetic.
Yeah.
It looks really fun. We don't have a ton of info about it, so I definitely say if you're into Oddworld, this looks like something to keep an eye out for. The story looks really interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think.
Mhm.
Moving on, clap clap.
Ooh.
We've got another. This game was pretty interesting. Ghostwire Tokyo, which was revealed at E3 2019. It was super popular then because Ikumi Nakamura came out and gave her a really adorable speech,
Oh, that was her.
and then like proceeded to get kicked out of the company.
What?
Yeah, there was a falling out. It doesn't sound like it was Ikumi's fault at all. It was just like some weird corporate business stuff. But yeah, we're not here to
Bethesda
talk
and
about that.
corporate stuff, huh?
Yeah,
Never
weird
would've guessed.
corporate stuff with a Japanese studio. Who's ever heard of that before? Konami. Yeah.
It's like a first-person thing. The gameplay is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I don't
at
think
all.
anyone thought this would be first person.
Yeah.
Like every single reaction to this I saw was that like, whoa, it's first person. And I think people were also surprised that it's an action game and not like a
Yeah,
horror, true
with
horror.
some like weird Naruto-looking hand things that they
With
do.
the reveal in 2019, I don't think it could have been third person. Just the way that they were handling the.
Well,
the
the reveal in
theme.
2019, we didn't see any gameplay or anything at all resembling the game being
Oh, but
played.
it's mainly the surreal horror aspect, and mainly if you want to carry that through, not really correctly, but in a safer manner to keep the tone going, you do that in first
Yeah.
person to keep the immersion.
Well, it's also interesting because Shinji Mikami, the guy who's directing this game, was also responsible for Evil Dead, or Evil Within, not Evil Dead. And Evil
was
Within
gonna
is
say,
third
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Evil Within is third person. So
That was going to be my exception to the rule. That I would say.
exactly. So people were like, "Whoa, it's Mikami, so it's probably third person because that's what he does."
And Resident Evil is typically third person as well.
Yeah, they're first person now though.
But
So
we'll get to later.
Yeah, we'll get to Resident Evil later.
We'll get there.
I think the big thing with this is people were surprised it was an action game. I do think that's kind of a misnomer because if in the reveal at E3, they actually did confirm that it was going to be an action adventure game and not like a full-on horror game. So we've known the genre of this for a while. We just haven't seen anything. It looks interesting. I'm not a huge fan of the like pixelization effect they had on enemies. I don't know if anyone else has like strong opinions about that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I don't
didn't
remember
notice
that.
It was like when you hit enemies, they pixelize and you like grab their heart or something out.
I gotta look this up now. I don't remember.
Yeah,
that
it
at
was. It looks cool, but I think I definitely need to see more to know what it is because like we don't know if it's gonna be more RPG-ish or maybe it's just like an action, just a straight RPG or not RPG, a straight adventure game. Yeah, we don't know a lot. Although I'm super into like Japanese horror, so I think this definitely has potential.
all.
Yeah, we don't know too much about it yet. All right, unless anyone has last minute stuff on Ghostwire, we can move on to Jet: The Far Shore.
The first sort of impression that this left on me was mainly it felt like what was that flower game that came a while ago where you were just the wind picking up petals?
Flower. It's called Flower.
I feel like the motion and the main draw of the game is going to be in sort of that just hypnotic
Yeah,
movement style.
definitely like
Which-
Journey, Abzu type
I was about to
vibe
say
I was getting.
Journey. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I got from it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we still don't know a lot about this. It's made by Super Brothers, who have done a few other really cool projects like Sword and Sorcery.
Which was super cool. I really liked
Yeah.
that game.
But we don't know a lot about this yet, to be
Yeah.
honest. We definitely know it involves some like space stuff and like trying to find a future on a different planet. But aside from that, we just saw a ship flying around. So, yeah, not a ton of details. All right,
Looks like it could be a neat little exploration game. Looks cool. Looks pretty. Should
Looks
be
pretty neat.
Interesting to see where it goes.
all right. Then they showed us Godfall, which was
I
shown
mean-
at the Game Awards originally, which
Mhm.
is being marketed as the first looter slasher,
Right.
which is basically just a hack and slash ARPG. I don't know why we need to make a new genre for this, but
And
Yeah.
it keeps bothering me because they keep putting it in. One of the guys is holding a sword that's literally the Infinity Blade from
Yeah.
the Infinity Blade games. It
I
bothers
miss
me
that series.
so.
it
So
looks almost
much.
exactly the same. It's
It's
crazy.
the exact same sword. I can't. It bothers me so much.
Yeah. I remember when we watched the reveal trailer for this at the Game Awards, we both were like, "Whoa, is this gonna be Infinity Blade?"
Oh,
It
yeah,
wasn't
was
Infinity
you.
Blade.
It was you, Griffin, and I. It's like this is an Infinity Blade game. This is so cool, and then it's like, nope.
It still
I mean,
looks
it
cool
looks
though.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks really
It looks
fun.
really cool.
the
the
song they
combat-
had was very out of place. It was this
Yeah.
very abrasive like pop song.
So,
and it was
What I heard people talking about this is their marketing team is just kind of like not in touch with what the game necessarily is or hasn't done a lot of game marketing. Because that trailer, if you look at the trailer and look at like mobile game trailers, it's a mobile game trailer. Like you,
Oh, yeah?
it says ascend, and you have like unlock godlike gear and
it
stuff.
did
That,
look kind of cheap.
all these kind of
know?
taglines that you would see next to like a mobile, like Raid Shadow Legends or something.
Everyone's
It looks like
favorite
Raid
game.
Shadow Legends taglines. Which is
Everyone's
weird because the game looks like super high budget and
No, it does. It looks like a really good, interesting, like old school ARPG. It looks fun.
yeah,
Looks
it
like
definitely
a-
looks
like
really
a-
fun. I love the guy with the floating swords that he attacked with floating swords. I'm always into
That was
that.
cool. was
Looks
cool.
cool. Not a whole lot else to say about it, really. All right, so moving on, we saw Solar Ash, which is a
forget the
follow up from the Hyper Light Drifter developers.
This game looked gorgeous. I
Oh,
was
it's
in
style.
love with its
Style.
art style, like almost instantly.
Absolutely.
It looks absolutely just gorgeous.
Looks really cool.
We got to see like 3 seconds of
Ooh,
gaplay.
fuck.
Yeah, it was about 3 seconds.
Yeah, and it looks
Yeah.
sick. Okay.
It looked great.
Yeah.
That's
the only thing
skating
worrying me, we
movement
haven't seen
style
combat
looks
yet, and
awesome.
main character has a sword, so there's probably going to be combat. I want
Right.
to see that.
You think?
Yeah, I think. But it looks great. Yeah, there wasn't a ton shown there. I believe this game used to be called Solar Ash Kingdom a while ago when they like first announced they were working on it. So it has definitely evolved a little bit since then. It looks really
Okay.
cool. The color palette is very reminiscent of Hyper Light Drifter. So
Right.
Yeah. that's pretty much it. Then we saw Hitman 3.
Hit Boy.
Hit
Boy
Boy
10.
3.
I've never played a Hitman game, so
They're
I'm
very
not
good.
gonna.
I've never played a Hitman game, and this trailer looked really cool.
Yeah. It
love
looks a
their
little more
logo.
story heavy than the more recent Hitman games.
Well, yeah,
Although
because
we
I think,
don't know for certain. It could
I
just
mean, the
be
guy
the
was
trailer.
like, "This is the end of the."
This is like
trilogy.
the Hitman trilogy. Yeah, so it looks cool. We don't know a ton about it. It's probably going to be pretty similar to Hitman 1 and 2.
I like
the
that
new
logo.
Hitman 1 and 2, not the old Hitman 1 and 2.
I like that logo though. That logo's pretty cool.
The title was snazzy. That like
It's-
red, the black font on red was
that
nice.
looks.
Oh yeah.
That looks so good. It looks so good.
All right. Yeah, that's Hitman. It looks good. Agent
It's
47,
gonna be more Hitman.
more Hitman.
I'm sure they'll add some wacky stuff. I hope there's a homing briefcase.
I am
so
actually,
can
what I
watch
am
more videos of
wondering is
that.
if this is going to be a full release when it comes out, or if they're going to keep doing the episodic thing. Because they almost marketed it like a full release and not necessarily episodic. So I think it'd be cool if they do just like a straight up, it's a $60 full Hitman game and not like the staggered episode based schedule. We'll see.
Y'all ready
Alright.
for a kids game?
Y'all
Here we go.
ready for Astro's Playroom?
Everyone's favorite PlayStation franchise, Astro.
Wait, is that real? Is there more?
Yeah, well,
yeah, it came
what was
out
it?
when the PS4 came out.
yeah,
Oh.
it was this whole thing to show off like the PlayStation 4's camera.
It was the
Oh.
camera, the DualShock, and the Move controllers. They had like little mini games for each control method.
Yep.
Yeah, it was wild. I never used it. I don't think anyone ever used it.
Yeah,
I mean, someone obviously did, or else they wouldn't be developing it. But yeah, it's basically just supposed to show like all the features of the DualShock, the new DualShock they're doing.
It
Yeah.
honestly just looked like more Little Big Planet gameplay. To be honest with you, like it
Yeah,
looked like a very
it looked pretty
platformer.
standard 3D platformer. I mean, it looked well made, so I assume it'll be fun. It'll probably come with the PS4 or the PS5. I'm assuming, just like Astro's Playroom did for the PS4. So if that just comes bundled with the console, I'm down. I'll play it.
So what you're saying is PS5 is going to get 2 free games on release: Astro's Playroom and Grand Theft Auto 5.
But Grand Theft Auto 5 is not coming on release. It's coming in 2021. GTA 5 was never confirmed for a release for launch.
Oh,
It was
okay.
confirmed for 2021.
Wouldn't that be great though? 2 free games that come with PS5 is Astro's Playroom and Grand Theft Auto 5.
There's a chance Godfall. I don't know if Godfall's going to be a free to play game. I hope it
They haven't-
isn't.
yeah.
I want it
They
to be
haven't
a buy to play game, but
With these looter games, it's all about
there's a
their-
chance it's free to play.
It's all about how they do loot and if they monetize it or not.
Yeah,
That's like
of
half
course
the battle.
they might have confirmed that it isn't, and we're just like spouting bullshit right now, but that's par for the course. So,
Mhm.
all right, moving on from Astro's Playroom, we're gonna
we
talk
talk
about
about The
Little
Witcher
Devil
4?
Inside.
Oh,
This
you
was
mean
like my
Yeah.
runner-up for game
Yeah.
of show. This
Oh,
game
this-
looked sweet.
It looks
This looks
super
fun.
cool.
Very much my
Looks really
aesthetic.
fun.
It's almost it's sort of a softer light or a more rounded version of what you might expect to see in a Ghibli film.
Yeah, it almost looks like
Yeah.
papercraft, which is super cool. I'm really into that.
And-
Basically, this
and-
game was, from what we saw, you're like a job person that does jobs for an old guy.
No, it looks like you're a monster hunter for the old guy. I don't know.
Yeah, something like
Or-
that. I mean,
or-
you were diving at one point.
Here's how I interpret
most
it.
of what you're doing is hunting monsters. I don't
The
know.
young guy and the old guy is the same person.
Yeah,
And
well,
the-
actually, Wyatt, that's not correct because
It's not-
something we both missed when we were watching it. The first scene is the young guy coming to meet the old guy and dropping something on his table.
I
They are different
completely
people.
I completely missed that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did too. I went back and watched the trailer again and caught it. So yeah,
I'm still very excited for this game.
it looks
It
really
looks
cool.
really cool.
Yeah,
It
it was
looks
a very
like-
different art style from everything else shown, which I thought was really unique.
Mhm.
Looks fun. Definitely looks like it's going to be some kind of action game. But yeah,
I feel heavy exploration vibes as well.
Yeah.
Like walking
Yeah.
around and enjoying the aesthetic and the environment.
there was also that like weird moment at the end where the old guy was in a suit of armor with like an army behind him.
Yeah. He
yeah.
looks like he's a general or something. I don't know.
Where I was like, whoa.
You're like, this guy is such a loser, and he's like, boom, boom, you know, he's like fucking
like,
Napoleon,
dun-dun.
actually.
It was
So-
great.
Like, I'm sick.
Right.
All right. Then we got
So-
the real game of the show, aka basketball players with sweat, NBA 2K21.
Yeah, so they invented sweat. You're now allowed to sweat.
And like heavily too, not just a little bit of sweat,
Right,
a
a lot.
lot of sweat.
A lot. They invented this though. So TM. All right. Bug snacks.
That's it. That's literally all we know about 2K21. It's gonna be the same game
all
as
you really
2K20,
need to
but with
know.
sweat.
It's,
All right, bug snacks.
It's gonna
I
maybe-
wasn't feeling this one. To
All
be
right,
honest.
so
was-
let's talk about what the game is first, so people know what we're talking about. It's a game
about
where
bug
you're on an island that with bugs that are also snacks, and you can eat the bug snacks to morph your body into them. And there's also like a monster made of snacks. It looks
This
super
game freaked me
goofy.
out.
It's made by the Octodad developers, so it's gonna be super goofy. The
I
trailer had
wasn't-
a song by Caro Caro Bonito,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
which was absolutely surreal to see.
An original song too.
Yeah, an original song. I never thought I would see or hear Caro Caro Bonito in a video game trailer. It
I
happened.
wasn't.
Life is complete.
I wasn't feeling it personally.
Yeah,
It's
this game looked
not-
a lot lower budget than pretty much everything else we saw. It graphically, there's not a lot going on.
It didn't. What's not my thing. It just. It was funny when I was watching it. I was like, "What the hell am I watching?" But after that, I just kind of forgot it existed until
Yeah.
we talked about it right now.
I mean, I'll probably pick this up because it kind of gave me some Katamari vibes, and I love Katamari. So
Yeah.
I'll probably pick this up if it's cheap, which I'm assuming it looked like it's going to be like a $10 to $15 release. That's what Octodad developers tend to do, probably 20 on the higher end. So yeah, if it's cheap, I'll definitely pick it up. I really hope this game isn't exclusive to PS5 because it's definitely not going to be taking advantage of PS5 hardware to make it exclusive. So hopefully we get this on PC. It looked bizarre and pretty cool.
freaked me out.
That's all about Bugsnax.
Souls.
It was a little creepy too.
Yeah.
Maybe some like dark stuff going on.
Did
Then we
not
got the real kicker of the show, which is probably my actual game of the show. I
You
keep
gotta
sa-
pick
So
one,
now we've
Ryan.
had
Here we
3
go.
games.
You gotta pick one, Ryan.
of
Like
the
Demon
show.
Souls is a game that I love. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the game I'm the most confident in being good.
Right.
Yeah.
This
so,
kind of came out of nowhere, like completely blindsided.
so this has been
me.
rumored for a while, but the thing is, they've taken it in a slightly different art direction. It's got a lot more color. Demon Souls originally was like super gray, and the thing is, it wasn't necessarily meant to be that way. It was just like it was a PS3 game, and it was an early PS3 game. So
Mhm.
yeah, it looked super weird and dull when it first came out, but it was super cool mechanically. Lots going on. It obviously laid the foundation for all the Dark Souls games, which are huge now.
So Demon Souls,
getting a
it's
remake.
not in the same universe.
No,
right?
it is a
They're-
different universe.
but I have to say, you are right about that. It feels like they have an entirely different art direction going for the game.
Yeah, I'm down for that, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I looked at some like side by side comparisons. They released some screenshots of the game, and man, does it look good! It
Yeah.
looks really good. It looks a little more high fantasy than I think I was expecting, but all the stuff matches with what Demon Souls originally looked like. So yeah, it looks great. It's not being developed by FromSoft. It's being developed by Bluepoint, who did the Shadow of the Colossus remake, which
Okay.
was universally acclaimed as being really good. So I have high hopes for this to be at least good. The big question here is whether or not they're going to actually change things from the original Demon Souls, which I hope they do, because Demon Souls is super archaic and like, at points just not fun to play and really needs some updates.
This looks more like a full remaster than a...
Yeah. The interesting thing is when Bluepoint did Shadow of the Colossus, they didn't change anything. But Shadow of the Colossus also didn't really need any changes. Like, you can go back and play Shadow of the Colossus and it plays great.
Maybe controls. could
Maybe,
use some-
but not
tweaks.
nearly as much as Demon Souls needs it. Like, Demon Souls has some issues.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's got some just huge mechanical issues. All right, then we saw Deathloop.
Yeah, the cool time loop game.
Yeah, it's
the show.
Dishonored, but time loop.
And it's-
Yeah.
I was
So it's-
very surprised to see the sort of Dishonored blink mechanics. I thought it was going to be sort of just like 70s or 80s style, assassin game with the time loop.
Yeah, they
Yes.
showed this at E3 last year, and they did show some of the magic stuff, like the characters were jumping over walls and crap. The main character was like breaking glass with his hands. So yeah, we didn't know there was going to be some weird magic stuff. I don't think we knew it was going to be basically just Dishonored.
I mean, I'm down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dishonored
totally
is
down.
awesome.
Dishonored's
felt
Blink
like-
is really hard to top.
It felt like a Dishonored mod or something, just like the same mechanics, but like just a different
Yeah,
environment.
the art style also looks great. Like it's a really clean refinement of I think what Dishonored started with. Yeah, it looks really cool. The setting looks great. They kind of hinted that there might be some like PvP in there at the end with the other character coming in, or maybe there's two storylines you play through like both.
No, it said you're being hunted by the other. There's two assassins hunting each other.
Yeah, I'm just
guy.
are both assassins going to be different players hunting each other?
I feel like
Yeah.
probably.
Right?
Because
Yeah.
the main character
I feel like it's
definitely
gotta
has the
be-
objective of killing the 8 targets, which are definitely in the world. So like,
Right.
is this going to be like a Dark Souls invasion style mechanic, right? Where someone
Yeah,
comes
true,
in
true,
and
true.
controls the female hunter assassin and like has to kill you? It'd be
I
cool.
would love there to be just like, if you want to play by yourself, you have that option.
Yeah,
But,
like
like-
Dark Souls. Dark Souls has the option to turn offline. So I think it'd be really cool if that was like an optional PvP.
Yeah.
Or if it's just a different storyline. It'd be great. But yeah, that's most of our Deathloop talk, I think. Then we had Resident Evil 8, aka Village. They did a
That-
fantastic fake out.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
That was so cool. The only problem that I had was for some reason the frame rate was terrible. I don't know if anyone knows.
This game's not coming out for a while though. It comes out 2021, so it's definitely still in development.
Mhm.
This is definitely a cinematic trailer and not like in-game stuff for most of it. So we'll see.
The
But
frame
what
rate
a
is
what a
terrible.
cool fake out. What a great
Yeah,
like
and they did this fake out with Kitchen and Resident Evil 7, but I think this was a lot better because it looked good from the start. We just didn't know what it was. And I think definitely none of us are Resident Evil super fans, unless I'm wrong in here. And I do know some people that are like huge Resident Evil fans caught some stuff that revealed it pretty early in the trailer. Like apparently the shotgun model that the old guy uses is the exact same as RE7. And like someone noticed that. I was like, whoa.
all right.
You got Hawkeyes there. But
All right.
yeah, so it looked really cool from what we saw. It's called Village for some reason.
Because you can fit the 8 in
The 8
Village.
in the Village. Yeah, that's it. We're not Resident Evil experts here, but it looks cool.
Mhm.
All right, moving on.
Some people, I want to say one thing. Some people hinted at that it might be a Resident Evil 4 prequel because a lot of the stuff that they showed could be like some
yeah,
kind
but
of.
we saw Chris and
Oh,
Ethan.
yeah.
So
But like some of the stuff they showed, apparently, again, I'm not an expert, was like precursor or hints at stuff that could be in Resident Evil 4 or was in Resident Evil 4.
yeah, so maybe we're getting like an RE expanded universe now.
Oh boy.
We'll
Oh
see.
boy.
RA stories.
Yeah. It's an Elder Scrolls story. All right, moving on. We saw Pragmata, which also looked super interesting. This is I think the furthest out game that we saw aside from maybe Project Athia. This game's release date was announced as 2022. So it's the furthest out.
Both Ryan and I had massive Kojima vibes. from
Yeah.
Yeah, that suit looks like the Kojima Productions character. It doesn't look exactly like it, which I think makes it pretty clear it's probably not a Kojima
even,
thing. But
I could see that being like a Bridges armor.
yeah. Like it
Death
looked
Stranding.
very Death Stranding aesthetic. It was cool. We got like an android girl and a weird cat.
I
More
got
cats.
I got very oh my god, of course I forget the name of it already. I got very Prey vibes from it. Or
Yeah,
at least
that's a good point.
Okay. Yeah.
It definitely seems like you're stuck on the moon for some reason. There's a satellite. The moon is like a construct or something, and the satellite crashes into it. I don't know. It has me intrigued.
I'm interested.
I'd like to know
I
more.
wanna
It
see
looks
more.
pretty
Yeah.
anime from what we saw, and I'm always
very-
down for a
yeah.
good game that has got a lot of anime in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really know anything about it, but it looks cool.
Mhm.
That's basically what we can say for like 90% of these games.
Yeah.
Aside from like Demon Souls, we know what Demon Souls is gonna be. It already exists.
Oh, Up next, we have my number one.
We're getting up there. Horizon Forbidden West.
Zero Dawn Electric
Oh,
Boogaloo 2.
All right, I wanna say something right off the bat. This should have been my game of the show, but Kana had more to show off.
Yeah, Kana had gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going through the first Horizon game, Zero Dawn, right now, because I never finished it, and it holds up
so good.
extremely well.
It's really good.
Like it
not
basically
bad
has
old.
not aged a day.
Yeah.
And Forbidden West looked really good. The big question I have is this going to be a launch game? Is
that was a
this like
launch
the
game-
PS5 killer app for launch?
I feel like it should be, because when you think about it, Xbox has
Halo.
Halo Infinite. That's going to be their big like Breath of the Wild style like system seller. And I feel like
It's obviously it's not gonna Last of Us 2, because Last of Us 2 is about to come out. It's not Ghost of Tsushima, because Tsushima's already out.
Tsushima's already out?
No, it will be.
Tsushima will be out very soon.
Oh.
Yeah.
How about they just make God of War instead?
Dude,
God of War is definitely
I
in
wanted
development.
something. I wanted
please
some
have God of War 2
I
right
wanted
now?
some God of War.
We'll talk
so
about God of
bad.
War after. We got to talk about
all
Forbidden
right,
West first.
We gotta,
Yeah, they showed some really awesome environments. The character designs look great.
Underwater exploration stuff.
Yeah, they
which
did
would
show
be
underwater exploration.
as long as the controls are good, because half the time they're not in most games.
Now, Wyatt, we talked about this earlier before. I am super psyched for the globetrotting aspect that this looks to show off.
Yes, they had a wide variety of different like environments, and that's
A
super
lot of
exciting.
biomes.
In the original game, this whole thing pretty much took place in Midwest America or Colorado, pretty much, as you can tell from one of the buildings there.
Mhm.
But and we discussed this earlier. I think I'm hoping it won't, but it might suffer from having too big of an open world.
Yes,
Yeah, certainly possible.
it would be probably best just to have separate areas.
Yeah,
so that they can concentrate better on making a better designed area than just something that's way too big.
Yeah, I think I personally am perfectly okay with it being separated large areas and not just an open world.
It works out way better than just one massive.
Yeah, because like Death Stranding does the same thing, right? Where you have these huge areas, but they're separated by loading screens and stuff, so you don't have the issue of the world being too huge.
Witcher did the same thing, and it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah. So it looks cool.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other opinions?
I mean, we didn't see anything. I just wish they had one hook whether it was like a gameplay thing or a narrative thing.
Yo, or
right
even like
now-
a release date.
Yeah, because right now it looks like more of the same, except for underwater, which I don't think was enough personally. Like, just show off one new thing to like hook us in.
Yeah.
Because right now it just honestly, like, if it didn't look slightly better, I would have guessed it was just footage from the first game.
I am worried about one thing. Well, besides the open world, what else can they do with the What else can they do with the story?
We're not going to talk about the story, so we don't spoil anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
No, we're not going to.
we'll bring that up as a concern.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. I haven't played the first game, and it
interesting.
looks like they're just starting a new problem.
Yeah, and we also saw some we saw Japanese at one point, so it's like,
Oh, yeah.
is that going to be just like a place in the Midwest that is a like Japanese restaurant or something, or are we actually going to be going to like Japan? I don't know.
No, I think it's going to be actual globetrotting because
The weird thing is it's called Forbidden West, but traditionally like Japan is in the East when you're talking about like game narratives. So
that could be
I'm
part
curious.
of the story, though. That could be part of the story. We don't know.
Yeah, definitely, because it could also be like maybe the world has moved places because it's been a while or whatever.
tectonic plates could have easily shifted in the past.
Huge time period. So yeah, that's pretty much the Horizon talk. And now we got the big moment of the show. We got the reason we're all here. The PS5 looks like a router.
Okay,
I think it's fine. Whatever.
Okay, let's just go one by one. We'll talk about what we think of the look. We'll just go like one at a time. I think is
All right,
maybe the best.
Well, do it. Say your piece, Wyatt.
I think it looks terrible. I think it looks like an Alienware PC. I think it looks like a router with 2 pieces of paper taped to it. I think it looks like Daffy Duck's bill. I think it looks like every single meme that everyone's done online, and they're absolutely perfect, and I don't like it. And I think it looks stupid.
All right, Alex.
I think it's okay. I think it looks like an Art Deco paperweight or a conversation piece that you have in your home. It's definitely something that they designed to blend in more with sort of an adult household thing. And it works.
Alright.
And it also reminds me of a Warlock helmet from Destiny.
Absolutely. All right, Ben. What's your take?
I think it's whatever. Who cares? I think my
That's a
only
great opinion.
critique is
Good point.
if it was black, it'd look better. But my thought is I don't fucking look at my gaming console when I'm playing, so who gives a shit?
Yeah. All right. My take. I don't
relax.
actually. I don't mind the appearance that much. It's just it's curved, and I like to have a spot to be able to put something on top of my console. Like my Switch dock right now is on top of my PS4.
Oh,
And
nice.
it doesn't look like
See,
that's going to be possible.
That's a legitimate concern.
That's a concern. I'm also concerned that the light is going to stay on
concern.
all night, or like if you're in a dark room watching a movie or something, you're going to have that blue light in your face, and it's going to look ugly, and it's going to distract you from what you're doing.
Which is say sleeping.
So
Yeah.
two things that pop out to me is I know like having it be white may be aesthetically pleasing to a lot of people, but looking at it from a functionality point of view, they get really dirty and dusty really quickly, and they become harder to clean. So I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, because any kind of like dark stain type material, it will show up so much more on a white background.
And
I
I
think
also
black just-
the 2 edges like at the top, if it's standing upright, right? It
Yeah.
feels like those things can just snap off so easily. It
Yeah,
looks
it seems very
really brittle.
Yeah, it
in
looks a
that
little
perspective.
fragile.
I don't know.
I do like the DualSense controller, though. A lot
I've
of
never
people
really
didn't.
cared
I get it.
about console design. I always think it's like I don't know. I don't look at them.
Yeah,
when
I
I'm
care if
playing
it's
games.
practical. Like my PS4 is a box, and I can put things on top of it. That's what I care about. The Xbox Series X is a box. I mean, I'm not gonna get an Xbox Series X because I have a PC that can play the same stuff that it'll have. But if I were to get an Xbox Series X, it would easily fit onto my setup, like my existing stuff, because it's a box and I can stack it. Whereas the PS5, also the PS5 is big. If people haven't seen the size comparisons, it is bigger than the PS4 Pro by a decent margin.
It's bigger than it's even bigger than the original Xbox One, which
Yeah,
if you remember,
it is bigger than every other console that has released.
Thick boy.
Assuming the images that we've seen are correct, that's the big caveat. There is I don't think we've gotten an actual size, or at least we haven't seen it. So, but the images that are out there right now, comparing it to other things, it's a lot bigger. Not like this disgustingly so, but it's big. Like this console's going to take up a lot of space.
And the other thing too is if you look at the digital, the all digital version, and then like the disc based version side by side, it literally looks like they wanted to do an all digital version, and then they had to like shove in a disc tray at the last minute, and it just looks like they completely it was like a last minute add-on. It does not fit well with the aesthetic of the system at all. And as someone who wants the option to have like disc-based media, it's disappointing that they couldn't find a better design to add a disc tray at all.
So I think there's a lot of argument for like why games being digital only is okay, but right now you also have the deal of like this thing is huge, right? And if it's that big, it's probably I'm not gonna have space to also have like a DVD player or something. So I'm gonna use my PS5 as my DVD player, and I need a DVD tray to do that. Like my PS4 is also my Blu-ray player, and without the disc tray, I can't play all of my like movies and stuff that I have. So I need the tray, which means I gotta get the ugly one. Or the asymmetrical one.
I also don't know if I agree with it, like, because what they said about the design is that they want it to be like a piece of decor in your house, like an aesthetic piece. And I don't know, it still looks too much like a piece of technology for it to kind of qualify.
I'd be fine with that if it was black and not white. Because I think most people tend to have dark wood in like their living rooms and places, and dark wood matches so much better with like blacks and browns than it does with whites.
I would be so much more okay with it if it was all black and then you had like the blue accented lighting, which I actually do like
Yeah.
quite a bit.
I don't
But-
mind the lighting so long as it goes off. That's my big caveat. As long as it turns off, I'm okay with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan at all.
All right, that's
But-
the PS5 opinions for the most part, I think.
Yeah.
The one big question mark, we didn't get a price.
Mhm.
We
I don't
haven't
think
gotten
we
a
got a-
price for the Series X either.
I don't think we had a solid release date. Did we?
We got holiday 2020 as a release
Right,
date.
but not like a
later this
solid-
year. Actually, we got later this year, so we don't know specifics.
Oh, we all knew that. We all knew that.
we're gonna assume it's holiday 2020. There's always the chance it gets delayed because like the reality of the world right now is that we're going into a huge recession, which
And
means
how many
people
people
have
can
less
afford it?
money to spend, and these consoles are shaping up to be more expensive than ever before.
It's like $500 or $600.
Yeah,
It's gonna be somewhere in that.
the number I've heard thrown out as the estimate is $599, and that's a lot. Like that's a lot of money to ask people for.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
like I could buy a new graphics card.
Yeah, like I could buy a new graphics card for my computer. I could buy 2 more Nintendo Switches.
Even at the price that they're at right now, which is incredibly fucking
yeah,
expensive.
it's ridiculous. But yeah, we don't know what the price is. I would say like $499 is a good price point if they want people to be able to buy it. But they're going to be taking a huge loss most likely because consoles almost always sell at a loss, and like now more than ever, they're probably going to be selling at a loss.
Yeah.
So we'll see. At the same time, like the entertainment industry, especially games in general, are the least affected by the current pandemic.
The PlayStation 5
Oh my
reveal.
God. The PS5 reveal video just started playing.
I also just say this is a problem with both the PS5 and the Series X. For the last generation, I've absolutely hated the fact that you don't have 4 USB ports on the front. If you want to play like 4-player split screen games, like there's a ton of people that will play Call of Duty split screen,
Yeah.
like local player, and it's so annoying that they fit like a maximum of 3 USB.
It would be
ports.
so much less of an issue if the PS4 controllers didn't die after like an hour.
Yeah.
PS4 controller battery life is terrible. Hopefully the PS5 controllers, they look a little bulkier, so hopefully they have better battery life.
Yeah, what
And there's so much space on the front of this thing they easily.
It's also like
could
the
fit.
Pro controller lasts like 4 days. like
Yeah,
for
dude.
like 48 hours.
Even the Xbox One is like what 7-8 hours, which is like pretty good for. a
Yeah,
controller.
I feel like the PS4 is probably like 6 at the most, which is pretty sucky.
No, I would say it's like 4. To be honest with you, like mine
Yeah,
have
it
lasted
depends.
like maybe 4.
I tend to use mine
I feel
plugged
like
in
mine die
anyway.
every single time I play the goddamn game.
yeah.
Yeah. That low battery warning is a daily part of life. So, yeah, that's the PS5 reveal event. Does anyone have something they want to like talk about before we end in the PS5 stuff? Any games that you feel didn't get enough talk?
I would have liked to see more gameplay from certain things. Obviously,
In general, really, because we only saw Ratchet and Clank. Really,
that's
Exactly.
the weird thing. That's the weird thing is I feel like people are like, oh, this PlayStation event was so much better than Xbox's because they showed more gameplay, and I was like, they showed about the same amount of gameplay.
I
as
think
Xbox.
then the Inside Xbox event, which was the big Xbox reveal, which was weird. Like
it's not that bad.
they
Like,
build it. The problem with that is they build it as a Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay reveal, and then we saw just a bunch of like
put
very
way
brief
too many-
vignettes.
I put way too many eggs in the Valhalla basket.
Yeah, it
I
was
think-
weird. Especially because
'cause they
like
had some-
Valhalla is almost guaranteedly going to be on PS5 as well.
Yeah, and I think they had some really cool stuff to show off in the like that first game that what was it called? Bright Memory, like that crazy looking like
Bright Memory's
first
out.
person.
You can play that on PC right now.
I know, but it looks cool. I don't know. Well, it said there were more levels. Like
Yeah,
there's gonna
but
be
it's
more...
not the kind of game that I would put as your reveal gameplay showcase because you can play that game right now. Like it's the same thing with the GTA 5. Like GTA 5 is a terrible way to start off your presentation because it's not new.
Yeah.
Especially when like they showed the black screen with the Rockstar logo and you're like, ooh, Rockstar's doing something, and then no, it's GTA 5 again.
is Bully 2 finally coming?
Is it GTA 5 Skyrim edition? It's on everything now. It's on your toaster.
Grand Theft Horse Redemption 2.
Yep. The Grand Theft Horse. It's Gran Turismo Horse Redemption Stray All Stars.
Red Horse
5.
Theft. Red Horse Theft Redemption.
All right. So
You're pulling it too tight.
Dad's Rad Redemption.
I think we can all agree.
Barbecue.
Game of the show, Bug Snacks, obviously.
What are you talking about? It was NBA 2K. Come on now.
You can't even remember what year it is. It's NBA 2K.
Cares. I'm sorry.
Also, NBA 2K said it was coming out extremely soon, and we didn't see any gameplay. So
Because you don't need any. You know what it is.
yeah, but,
It's exactly the same, but now there's sweat. That's all a 2K
Yeah,
game
it's
is.
literally like, okay,
but
so
we only
yeah,
saw
that's what-
one character on the screen. Like basketball games have a lot of people in them, right? And they all need to be sweaty, right?
Oh, right.
They
Did you
all
see-
need sweat.
They all need the sweat.
Right, you don't understand. Did you see the amount of sweat on that one guy's forehead?
Yeah,
Like,
but
no,
if
it is
it's that amount of
there's an
sweat spread between like
unparalleled
12 players, it's not enough sweat.
amount of sweat.
The only one character.
You're not giving it any
That's the only character that you get to play. Is you have to pay for the rest of them.
Oh, okay.
No. Actually, what you have
Perfect.
to do is you have to play. So you have to pay for sweat on each character.
Oh,
So
sweat
it's
DLC.
literally So it's literally the same game as before. Like literally, all they did was add sweat, but you need to pay for sweat per each player.
Yeah, it's like $1 per drop at a time. You know,
Yeah.
you pay
And
us 60 bucks, you
can
can have
open up
60 drops of
your,
sweat at a time.
You can play roulette because loot boxes aren't
Yeah.
illegal now, but you can play sweat roulette where if you win, you get sweat.
Yeah, what you do, you buy the sweat, then you use the sweat as the currency to play roulette, and that dodges
Sweat
legal
roulette, yeah.
concerns.
You know what I kind of wanted to see from either reveal of like either console that we never got to see? I wanted to see, man, probably no one's gonna know about what I'm about to say, but I really wish we had gotten to see something about Witchfire.
Dude, Witchfire looks great.
Witchfire
At the
was
same
so
time,
cool,
Witchfire is
and I-
also a game that's like not heavily tied to either console.
I know, but neither is fucking Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So
But Assassin's Creed's
I-
like a AAA production. Witchfire is a smaller team. So
yeah, but I wanted to see something.
although to be fair, I don't think we saw Witchfire during the PC gaming show was also today, and I don't think we got to see Witchfire during that either. So
I just
interested.
want more Witchfire. I don't care what show it's at. I want to see more Witchfire because that looks so cool.
all right. So unless there's any other concerns, we're gonna move on to our shout outs, and then we'll end out the show for today. How about Alex? Let's start with Alex. What's your shout out?
Oh, I'm in the middle of a forever sneeze.
Oh, wonderful.
That's a shout out. Oh, okay.
Oh. You know what? Fine. Shout out to that feeling stopping right now. I thought I was going to be stuck with that forever.
Jesus.
That's a good shout out. All right, Wyatt.
My shout out goes to EA for bringing Battlefield 4, 1, and 5 over to Steam after they just stopped development of Battlefield 5. Way to go. Way to go, EA.
Hey, at
Way
least
to
the
go.
games are finished now. All right.
I don't know about that.
Maybe in the
Have
ideal
you played
world.
Battlefield 5?
All right.
That shit's not finished. Anyway.
My shout out, open world games. They're pretty fun, but man, they need to move on and learn some new techniques because I'm getting tired of looking at maps. But hey, they're fun. Go Spider-Man. All right. Ben, it's your shout out.
Did I say Tarkov last week?
I have no clue. You
said
think I have a
Tarkov.
memory for this podcast? I
think I've said
blocked it.
Tarkov for like 3 weeks. Shout out to the Roni. Just, give it a little reminder. You might have forgot about the coronavirus these past few days.
Oh, that's
Because
why you're
there's
calling it
been a lot of-
Baroni.
Yeah,
I
there's
call
been a lot
I
of-
call it
There's been a lot of political turmoil, but don't forget because you gotta keep your mask 6 feet away from. Well, keep it on you, but you need to keep your mask on. And
Keep
stay
your
6
mask
feet away
6 feet away.
because we're still trying to not die. Right? So there you go. Have a good afternoon, or
Yeah.
morning, or night.
Hey, I'll
So,
give
we're
you
done.
one if you
That's
can
it.
guess one more game bit. What was the Orbis?
Taco Bell.
It was the PlayStation 4.
Was it spherical?
No, it was the PS4. All right, that's it. That's all of our crap for today. We're done. We'll stop taking up your valuable time with our terrible memes. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. That's the end. That's the end. We're cutting there. Stop.